So a close look at these two verses they are, first of all, holy garments. Secondly, they are for glory and for beauty. Now, let me say something about this. I really do believe God likes beauty. I really do. A good friend of mine said one time to me, we were talking, he said, I'm going to tell you, Brother Joe, God don't like ugly. And I thought about that. God don't like ugly. Everything is beautiful that God made. So they were for glory and for beauty. He made wise-hearted, filled with the spirit of wisdom. The garments were for consecration, so Aaron can minister unto him in the priest office. Now this means a lot to me, in that if God says this about this man, what does he say about you and me when we come into the house of the Lord? That's one of the reasons why I believe the way I feel. This is for glory, for beauty, and God said, this guy has to wear these garments when he comes into my presence. Well, I thought one day when I was teaching on this, well, if he is supposed to do that, then why can't I give God my best when I come to the house of the Lord on the Lord's day? And I've put that in my life ever since, well, Phyllis will tell you this, ever since we started ministry, we started putting forth this practice of giving God our very best on the Lord's day. When we come to church, that's the way we are. And I got this from this right here, that these garments that God told Moses to make for Aaron were for the purpose to minister in the priest office. He could not minister without these garments on him in the priest office. He has to have them on. Now, understand this. When he doesn't, if I can say it like this, if Aaron doesn't do it like God says, he's in jeopardy of being killed. Okay? That should suffice that. The list of the garments. These are the garments which they shall make. A breastplate, and this is the breastplate. The holy ephod, and this is the ephod right here. This is the girdle of the ephod. This is it right here. The purple girdle, or the purple ephod and the girdle. And a robe, and this is the robe with the bells on it. And a broidered coat, and this is underneath here, this white garment hanging down here is the broidered coat, this white sleeves coming out here. And if you'll notice here, in my little Aaron, everything is covered. Everything is covered, okay? And a broidered coat and a mitre. This blue thing right here on top of the bonnet is called the mitre. And then under here is the bonnet. A girdle, and you shall make holy garments for Aaron, thy brother, and his sons, that they may minister unto me in the priest office. These are the garments so that Aaron may minister to the Lord. These are the garments that he must wear. Now, the way he's dressed right now is the way he will appear in the holy place. He does not wear these garments in the Holy of Holies. That fallacy of if those bells stop ringing back in the Holy of Holies, they hook a rope to him and pull him out. That's not true, because he doesn't have these garments on. These are only garments to wear in the holy place. And we'll see that in just a moment, okay? So they're not going to be on him when he goes into the Holy of Holies. This garment right here, this white garment minus this blue mitre, are going to be the only garments that he'll wear in the Holy of Holies. Okay? Going on here. A close look at these two verses. First of all, they are holy garments. Secondly, they are for glory and beauty. And they are, I just read that a minute ago. How did I get to that? I went backwards? Well, let's go this way then. Okay. Okay. Huh? Oh, you were too? Well, we're on the same page. They shall take gold and blue and purple and scarlet and fine linen. Now, these are the colors that they are to use. Now, the comment, the basis for all of these garments is this right here. In other words, this garment is dyed purple, but it began with the white. This white represents righteousness. Do you hear what I said? The white represents righteousness, or we can go as far as to say it represents holiness. All of these garments, the blue garment is also, the basis for it is the white. They dye it blue. The ephod, which is the purple, it is white, dyed blue, dyed purple. And everything that you see here, the foundation of it is righteousness or holiness. If you want to go that far, we can go to holiness. The basis of our relationship with Him, and it's based on holiness and righteousness. I'm glad of that, folks. I don't know about anybody else. But the basis of our relationship with God is based upon holiness. Same way with this guy. Even though this is purple, it still represents that holiness. You can say, well, it's maybe hidden, but it's visible here. Well, you and I, how many of you can see your holiness or righteousness? You can't see it with the naked eye, but that doesn't mean it's not there. It is there. Amen. You see, because you have been made the righteousness of God in Christ Jesus. You hear what I'm saying? You're made that way. It isn't something that you try to attain to, and certainly you can't work to it. Anything you would try to do to obtain any kind of righteousness would be self-righteousness. So the basis of the relationship that this man has is based upon holiness and righteousness, and it's all imputed. Amen. Do you hear what it says? It's all imputed to him, just like it's just imputed to you. This is nothing more than a pattern that God chose Aaron to make, that we can learn from this, that when God deals with you and I, He deals with us on holiness and righteousness. That's how He'll deal with you and I. And it's His. Praise the Lord, all right? So the fine linen is the basis for all the colors. It's the base color. The ephod. Thou shalt make the ephod of blue, of gold, blue, purple, or of scarlet, fine twined linen with cunning work. It shall have the two shoulder pieces thereof joined at the two edges thereof, so it shall be joined together. So the ephod, which is this right here, is the outer garment. I don't know if you can see it back there. I know you can't see it on the camera up there because it's such small, but all this, there's gold thread. My sister put gold thread all through this so that you could see the gold. Gold is a symbol of what? Deity. You remember that? Blue is a symbol of what? Heavenly. So you're going to have the ephod made of blue, purple, scarlet, and fine linen. So they mix the blue and the scarlet together, and they have purple. And so what you see here is scarlet being the mixture of blue, or purple rather, the mixture of scarlet and blue, making this color right here, which represents God coming in the earth being a man, a God-man. And we see this because here's deity and here's humanity. And it's all God's order. So the ephod is the outer garment. That will be when you look at this man, what do you see? What do you see? Well, I look at him, I see all this purple, don't you? Yeah. But also in the midst of all that purple, I see this breastplate. Now, I was telling Sean earlier, I made this a little bigger. It's only a hand's breadth on the original, on the man. But I made it bigger because when you're teaching this, you want people to be able to see this. You know what I'm saying? Can you all see it over? I can see what I can do is I can do this number, see? I can bring him around, and I can bring him around this way. I got him on a turntable. He's a pretty good model. He don't say nothing. He never give me no lip. All right? He's beautiful to me. He is? Oh, well, wait till we get done with this little fellow. The curious girdle of the ephod, which is upon it, shall be the same. This is it right here. It's purple, same way. My sister put gold trim on it, and there's some little threads in there. Which is upon shall be the same according to the work thereof, even a gold, deity, blue, purple, and scarlet, the mixture of the two, and fine twined linen. This is what oftentimes when you talk about girdle, you talk about strength, giving something strength, the girdle. But this is more or less a tying of the. This is kind of like a vest. It's separated here at the shoulders. The back is separated, and this comes together. And these two things up here actually couple the back with the front. That's how the priest can put this on. Now, we're going to get to these in just a moment, but I want to continue with this. The girdle that he has on here is to give this strength, to give that robe strength. But not only that, it is also to bind it together. Okay? Going on. Yes?
We call that a pinafore. When we dress our little girls, it's made just like that. Two pieces and nothing in the back, and it's pinafore is what?
Is that what they call it? Well, I didn't know what they call it. You all know what them are, right? Where it's coupled together here at the shoulder, here to back. This right here would have had chains. I didn't put the chains on them, but there's chains to this, to the ephod, to hold the breastplate in place. Okay? Now they're not there, and I didn't want them there because of the weight. Yeah. The weight. These things are all stuck on there with Velcros, because I take it off whenever I take all the garments off, because when we get down, we take this off, and we get down to this right here. Well, it makes it much easier if I put it on Velcros for me, okay? All right, going on here, verse number 9. And thou shalt make 2 onyx stones, engrave on them the names of the children of Israel. So these are the 2 onyx stones here. And let's bring him around here so you can see him. There's 2 onyx stones on this shoulder. Now, on each of the onyx stones, on this side, there would be Reuben, Simeon, you know, I went through all those names before I come in here. Levi. Ben. Who? Ben. Benjamin. Naphtali. Who? Who? Naphtali. Naphtali. Issachar. Asher. Dan. Joseph. Boy, aren't them a lot of names. Y'all, could you imagine Grandma remember all of Paul and David, Joe and Junior? And I don't know how my grandma remembered all them names. Anyway, Judah, all of their names are up here on these 2 onyx on the shoulders. On the shoulders, and 6 names on one stone, 6 names on the rest on the other stone, according to their birth. Now that's neat. That's interesting because as they are born, their names are engraved on these stones. Being engraved on there, they're never removed. They're there forever, and they're carried on the shoulders of the priest when he ministers before the Lord. It is awesome, because that's where we are. We are actually carried on his shoulders also. But not only that, we're going to be carried on his heart. Can you see that? Okay. Now, with the work of an engraver in stone, like the engraving of a signet, shalt thou engrave the 2 stones with the names of the children of Israel. Thou shalt make them to be set in the ouches of gold. So when you see that ouches of gold, they are set in gold, which is deity. Their names are set in deity. They're set in God, just like we are. We're in God in Christ, okay? And thou shalt put the 2 stones upon the shoulders of the ephod for the stones of a memorial unto the children of Israel, and Aaron shall bear their names before the Lord upon his two shoulders for a memorial. And so when Aaron goes into the holy place there before the Lord, he's going to have their names up on his shoulders, right next to his ear, right next to his breath. All of these things sitting right here next to the head. And guess where we are? We are sitting with Christ on his shoulders next to the head. You see, Christ is head of the church. We are the body. He's the head of the church. And here we are sitting right next to the head. Hallelujah. Now, I know some of you that were here Sunday night when Brother Steve was talking about having the mind of Christ. Yeah, guess where he's sitting? Right next to where the mind is. Where we're, well, what Jesus hears, I hear. He said, I hear my Father's voice. I'm going to hear his voice. Can you see that? Yeah. So of the important place that we're sitting is on his shoulders. All right? And thou shalt make ouches of gold and 2 chains of pure gold. At the ends of wreathen work shalt thou make them, and fasten the wreathen chains to the ouches. So here they are. I've got the chains connected here and over here. And those chains run down, and they're tied to the breastplate with a blue, I can't think of what they call that. I'll just call it a string. But anyway, it's a blue string, and here we go. Now watch this. You have the gold deity. You have the blue heavenly attached to the breastplate. On the breastplate now. So we go down to verse 24 and 25 to catch the purpose of the chains. Thou shalt put the 2 wreathen chains of gold in the rings which are in the ends of the breastplate. So these are connected to the breastplate. They are not to hold the breastplate up. It is to say to you and I, we are connected by God to this. Yes, you see it? All right. And the other ends of the 2 wreathen chains shalt thou fasten to the 2 ouches, and put them on the shoulder pieces of the ephod before it. So the chains go from the 2 ouches which the onyx set in. They run down and tied to the blue cord onto the breastplate on both sides. I got this one tucked back in there so you can't see it. You only need to see one, right? There's a blue one on that side too, believe me. Can you all see that over there where you're at, Dee? Can you see that little fella? Okay. Let me turn around because the guys on YouTube's got to watch this. All right, going on here. The breastplate of judgment. Of judgment. And thou shalt make the breastplate of judgment with cunning work, after the work of the ephod. Thou shalt make it gold, blue, purple, and of scarlet and fine linen. Thou shalt make it. 4 square shall it be, doubled. A span shall be the length thereof, and a span shall be the breadth thereof. It is called the breastplate of judgment, possibly. Now, I'm not saying that this is the reason. It's just my thinking. The breastplate of judgment is possibly because 2 names are left off that are up here on the shoulders. In other words, when you come down here to the breastplate, all 12 of the tribes of Israel's names are up here, but when you get down here, only 10 of them are on there, and 2 of them have been replaced. Now, could that be the reason why it's called the breastplate of judgment? I'm not sure. But let me go a little bit further. You see, and of course it's on later on, but in behind the breastplate is a pocket which is called the Urim and Thummim. And inside the Urim and Thummim, I just say it's a black rock and a white rock. And what that was for was to find out what the will of God was. And I'll get on in a few moments. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, but I'm on this subject on judgment. To be that, and the reason for the Urim and Thummim was so that they could seek what the will of God was. If it was a white rock, yes. If it's a black rock, no. I mean, that's the only answer that I could really ever come up with on why it was that way. Okay, let's go on. So it's called the breastplate of judgment. And thou shalt set in it settings of stone, even 4 rows of stones. The first row shall be a sardius, a topaz, and a carbuncle. This shall be the first row. The second row shall be an emerald, a sapphire, and a diamond. The third row is, well, I have to go to the next page, don't I? Okay. Whoa! Oh, I got to go back. Where we are. The third row is a ligure, an agate, and an amethyst. And the fourth row is a beryl, an onyx, and a jasper. And they shall be set in gold in their enclosings. So the way I made this is all gold around it, and they are all set in gold. Those names of the 12 tribes, minus 2 of them, are set in gold. They're in deity. And I can't impress this enough on you folks. We tonight as believers are actually set in God. We are. This is a beautiful type and shadow of that. That our names are there and they're engraved there and they're forever. The only way those names could ever be removed is you remove it. Do you hear what I say? You are the only one that can remove your name, as we're going to find out in a couple of minutes now. All right. So in order to see who is on the breastplate, we need to see how the tribes line up. So on the east side toward the setting of the sun shall be the standard of the camp of Judah, pitched throughout their armies, and Nason, the son of Amminadab, shall be captain of the children of Judah. So the first tribe, let's say, here we go. We have the tabernacle out here. There's the east side of the tabernacle there. This is the west side. This will be the south side. This will be the north side. So on the east side, the tribe that would be leading would be Judah. Now that's always the case. If you all remember when Jehoshaphat got ready to go into battle one time, Jehoshaphat said, send out the tribe of Judah. Why? Because the tribe of Judah was the worship tribe, and when they went out praising the Lord, victory was theirs. So that was the way they were. They marched out. So the first tribe would be Judah. You see it? And then you go on, and those that do pitch their tent next to him shall be Issachar, and Nethiel, the son of Zor, shall be captain over the children of Issachar. So you have Issachar is the next guy, and his host and those that were numbered thereof were 50 and 4,400. Then the tribe of Zebulun, and Eliab, the son of Helon, shall be captain over the children of Zebulun. So you have the first 3 right here. Judah. What was it? Judah. Who's the next one? Issachar. And then Zebulun. Judah, Issachar, and Zebulun. These are the 3 that would be out here in the front with Judah. Do you hear what I said? Those 3 tribes would be the 3 tribes in the front. All right? I also have a diagram of it, the best I could do with what I have. On the south side, down here, shall be the standard of the camp of Reuben. So Reuben's the first one here. Okay? Shall be the tribe according to his armies, and the captain of the children of Reuben shall be Elzur, the son of, these crazy names. I have no idea where they got all these names. Do you? And his host, and those were numbered thereof 46,500. So you can start seeing how many people they had. They had about 3 million by the time we get done. Those which pitch by him shall be the tribe of Simeon. So Simeon would be the next stone, okay? And the captain of the children of Simeon shall be Shelumiel, the son of you know who, one of those Zuri daddies, okay? And his host, and those that were numbered of them were 59,300. Then the tribe of Gad. So Gad is the next one. He's the diamond, okay? And the sons of Gad shall be Elisaph, the sons of Ruel. All right, let's go on here. And on the west side, so this would be back here. The west side of the tabernacle would be the standard of the camp of Ephraim. Does anybody know who Ephraim is? He's the guy, he's right here. Ephraim. Now you notice we've just lost one of the 12 tribes that are up here. Because Ephraim is not of the 12 tribes. Ephraim is the son of Joseph. See it? Ephraim. Okay. Where am I at? Chopper. Okay, and the host of those be numbered of them were 40,500. By him shall be the tribe of Manasseh. Who is Manasseh? This guy right here is Manasseh. Who is he? He's also the son of Joseph. Now, why does Joseph's two sons end up on the breastplate to take the place of Joseph and Levi? Well, because Levi doesn't get an allotment in the tribe of the land. He doesn't come under any inheritance. The Bible says that Levi's allotment was the Lord. The Lord. They were the Lord's priests, but Joseph was promised a double portion. And his two sons took those two places of Levi and Joseph because he got a double portion. So here's two of them on the breastplate taking the place of Joseph and Levi. Neat, isn't it? How God does this for us. Now, they didn't lose their place up here. Now, this up here is this type of salvation. I didn't say that before, but now I can say it. These up here are salvation. Do you hear that? They didn't lose their place up here. Dan don't lose his place up here either. Dan was a bad tribe. Everybody knows that, right? But he doesn't lose it up here. Now, aren't you glad it isn't by works that we are saved? Amen. I know you all got that, right? You all got that? We're not saved by works. Yeah. All right, then the next tribe is chapter 22, verse 22, the tribe of Benjamin. Okay, he's the next one. Sitting here, Benjamin, and the captain of the son of Benjamin shall be Abidan, the son of Gideoni. Excuse me for a minute. Anybody got any questions while I'm taking a... Well, it's an advertisement. Of course, I'm not going to name the water. All right. Let's get back. Okay, so the number of the camp of Ephraim were 1,000, 100,000, and 8,000, and 100 throughout their armies, and they shall go forward in the third rank. Okay, the standard of the camp of Dan shall be on the north side by their armies. Now this is really coincidental, or maybe not. This being the north side, this is Dan. When they settled in the land of Canaan, Dan was the northern tribe. Isn't that amazing? That he was the northern tribe on the north side of the camp, but when they come into the land of Israel, it was Dan that was up in the north. I don't know why it was so coincidental, but God works all things out to his own plan. I don't know why. Okay? So Dan shall be the north side by their armies, And the captains of the children of Dan shall be this guy and his host, and those that were numbered of them were 62,700. Now his tribe isn't very big. Where you remember we just got done reading the last one was 100,000. Okay, those that camp by him shall be the tribe of Asher. So now you have Asher here. In the middle right here is Asher. And the captain of the children of Asher shall be, and that guy. And his hosts, and those that were numbered of them were 40 and 1,500. Then the tribe of Naphtali, which is the last tribe, and the captain of the children of Naphtali shall be Ahira, the sons of Enan.
So I thought that was the onyx down in the middle bottom.
It is.
But that's not what, I thought that's not what he said.
No, his name was Asher.
I gave the name of the guy.
Yeah, that's the onyx.
Now, here's the camp. I see, like I said, I made my own little. Y'all see the work I had to do this.
I bet.
Every time I do this one, that thing would jump over there, and I have to go back over and bring it back over. When I do Manasseh, that thing would jump over, and I have to bring it back. I mean, I worked all day on just doing that right there.
Sunday morning you were working on it then.
Yeah, I was working on it then. Yeah, I'm telling you, I worked my fingers to the bone, and you guys ain't even appreciating it. So here you are, the east side, Judah, Issachar, Zebulun. South side, Reuben, Simeon, Gad. West side, Ephraim, Manasseh, Benjamin. North side, Dan, Asher, and Naphtali. And it's really neat how God does things and how he organized all this, that he put Judah out in front. Now, you remember I told you that Judah is the tribe of praise, and anytime they went into battle, it was Judah that led the battle. I mean, that would be a good, that would be good advice for us. When you get in trouble, just start praising the Lord.
Yeah.
I really.
But how hard would it been? I guess they had to have colors on their outfits.
Oh, wait a minute now. They are. You got to remember, they had to set their standards up. They had standards. And every tribe had its standard. Okay. And I was looking at ours today. My brother sent me a copy of our standard, the Link family.
Because if you got thousands and hundreds of thousands of people, then you got to be able to keep up with your tribe.
Well, I mean, this is really a small scale, but could you imagine how much land this thing covered? Remember, we went through that once. Okay, let's go on here. Now, you will notice two of the original names are left out of the placement of the tribes. Joseph, which was replaced by Ephraim, and Manasseh replaced Levi. And it's like I said, Levi was not to receive any of the land. He was the Lord's. Manasseh and Ephraim received 2 portions of land. What's so strange about this, and Ephraim now, he had probably the largest part of the land of Israel, where Manasseh refused to go across the Jordan River and stayed on the east side of the Jordan River. Yeah, here they are. All right, here's Manasseh. Here's the Jordan River. Here's Manasseh, Gad, and Reuben. They all stayed on this side of the river. The reason for it was when they got there, these 3 tribes saw that the land was beautiful, prime for cattle and things like that. And so they stayed on the east side. But the rules were, when they go into Canaan, they have to go in and help them settle the land. They don't get out of helping them settle the land. They have to go in and help them settle the land. Then they can go back to the lands which they have staked out for themselves, and they could settle their lands, and everybody would help one another. But those 3 tribes remained on the east side of the Jordan River. Now, it's odd. I didn't show you this, but let me show you something here. The tribe of Gad, you remember when Jesus come over the Sea of Galilee, and that demon-possessed man from Gadara, this is the tribe he came from. Gad. Not only that, but Jordan is in this area too. You know, Jordan, y'all know what Jordan is, right? Is in this area also. It's amazing how God does things. He is so, okay, let's go on here. Don't want to get hungry. Thou shalt make upon the breastplate chains of the ends of the wreathen work of pure gold, and thou shalt make them upon the breastplate 2 rings of gold, and shalt put the rings on the 2 ends of the breastplate. And thou shalt put the 2 wreathen chains of gold in the 2 rings which are on the ends of the breastplate, and the other 2 ends of the 2 wreathen chains thou shalt fasten in the 2 ouches, and put them in the shoulder pieces of the ephod before it. So you can see we've done this and went through this already. The chains are connected to the breastplate. Going on. I'm just about done. The chains are made of pure gold, and they connect the onyx, shoulder onyx with the breastplate jewels by a blue cord. Gold is deity, blue is heavenly. So being connected from the shoulders to the breastplate is saying, whether on the shoulder or on the heart, we are all connected together.
Thank you, Lord. Praise God.
We're all connected together. We're all of the same body.
Amen.
Okay, well, can anybody read that top one?
And thou shalt
Make 2 rings of gold.
Uh-huh. And
Put them upon the 2 ends of the breastplate in the border thereof, which is in the side inward.
okay,
Ephod.
yep. And the 2 other rings of gold thou shalt make, and shalt put them in the 2 sides of the ephod underneath, toward the 4th part thereof, over against the other coupling thereof, above the curious girdle of the ephod. So what is being said here? It's here at the bottom, and I didn't do that because I wanted to take him on and off all the time, is 2 rings, and they are connected to the ephod. So this breastplate is connected to the ephod by 2 gold rings, and it's also connected to the shoulder pieces by a chain. So everything it's stable there. It doesn't move. So now we see the breastplate is connected to the ephod to make it secure. Say when we are connected to Jesus, we are also secure. See? All right. And they shall bind the breastplate by the rings thereof unto the rings of the ephod with a lace of blue. That's what that's called. It's a lace. I knew it. I just had to be reminded that it may be above the curious girdle of the ephod, and that the breastplate shall not be loosed from the ephod. Because already we've covered the breastplate being secure. We already covered that, so we'll go on here. Aaron shall bear the names of the children of Israel in the breastplate of judgment upon his heart when he goeth into the holy place for a memorial unto the Lord continually. Now, I want you to notice this. Remember I said he didn't go into the Holy of Holies? Notice where he goes. He goes into the holy place. So this garment, these outer garments here, are holy place garments. The outer garments are the holy place garments. Now, it is true, when he's in there, these bells are ringing. But they don't have to tie a rope to go in and get him. The other priests can do that. Yes, ma'am?
But they did, is it wrong that they did tie a rope on?
No, they didn't. No. No, that was dramatic preaching. No, that's just for drama.
So what happened, so the first time he went in, he just
Yeah. He came out. When he wore these garments, well, you know what, he would be in there. And as here's what I did. We're not going to get there tonight. To see the blue garment, it's right just below the knees. So when you're walking, guess what you're doing? You're ringing the bell. Okay? I'm not going to get into that tonight. We're just going to stay with this outer garment tonight. Now, next week, we're going to take all of this stuff off, and we're going to talk about this robe right here and the importance of this robe. But going back, the first thing we notice is where his garment is worn. It's in the holy place. The names were to be a memorial before the Lord. Now that's kind of a rather strange statement. Do you know God never forgets anything except sin? He doesn't forget anything except sin. When you repent of your sin, he forgets it and it's gone. But as far as these go, what is a memorial though? It's not something that you remember. Not this, a memorial. We have memorials up in Washington, D.C. Washington Memorial, Lincoln Memorial. It's a reminder. Now, there was another thing. Does anybody know what the Stone of Ebenezer is? Has any of you ever heard of it? Stone of Ebenezer. Anybody? It's called the Stone of Helping. But when they did this on Ebenezer, they put the 12 tribes' name on it. We'll talk about that another time. I know you all have heard about it. Okay, what, Nancy?
I can't remember if we ever got to the shoes. Those are neat little, when was that fella done on?
I stole them.
You put those on there?
Yeah. How do you think? He's barefooted.
Well, what did they wear?
Camel leather.
Sandals, they probably wore sandals.
Well, this is not my first one. This is my second errand. My first one went by way of dropping it.
Well, what was that on his feet?
Same thing.
Oh.
And
Where's the sandals?
them's a pair of shoes with the back cut out.
They look like a man's slippers.
Well, only Nancy would see that. Oh, whoop. All right, right here. Let's go. I wanted to come back to this, if you remember a while ago. And thou shalt put in the breastplate of judgment the Urim and Thummim, and they shall be upon Aaron's heart when he goeth in before the Lord. And Aaron shall bear the judgment of the children of Israel upon his heart before the Lord continually. The Urim and Thummim is a pouch in the back of the breastplate for the purpose of knowing the will of God. Now, I said this a while ago. I don't know. I've heard some people say it was a white rock and a black rock. Really, I don't really care what it was. It was a way.
Tell how they knew whether it was yes or no?
Yes. According to the rock that they drew out of the Urim and Thummim, it would be a yea or nay.
So they wouldn't think about it, they just reach in.
They reach in here and they get it, and the first one they brought it out, oh, that's a no, we don't go.
Okay.
Well, they could probably pull another one and say, yeah, let's go.
If they wanted it yes, they would.
Yeah, just pull the other one. But now that ain't the way it works.
Well, you don't know. He could have changed the colors when he picked them up.
Yeah,
He
well,
could have said, well, you don't want the white one, we want the black one. And changed the white to the black, and you don't
okay.
want the black no way that's in there.
All right. Over in the book of Nehemiah, they actually used the Urim and Thummim. Also in the book of Ezra, they used the Urim and Thummim, but it said the same thing. And I was kind of puzzled. Why does Ezra repeat what Nehemiah says? Well, I don't know. Here's what it says. And the Tershath said unto them that they should not eat of the most holy things till there stood up a priest with the Urim and Thummim. The priest could not eat the shewbread until the will of God was determined by the Urim and Thummim. That's an amazing thing. They couldn't do it. They had to find out what God's will is. I think I'm at the last one. Next week we're going to talk about this robe right here underneath. So you don't want to miss it.
Amen.
You don't want to miss it. When we get done with this guy, you're going to see the church. Yeah, I know you didn't get that, but when we get done with this fellow, you'll see the church.
He'll be naked. By the time you get it all off, he'll be naked. Is that the church?
You're bad.
Well, he's gonna take a.
I did not remember that.
You didn't? No.